My dear students, under the heading of competency-based questions, the next stage is about the core stage. The interviewer gathers all relevant information about applicants based on the four categories of skills. What are those four categories of the skills? One is a tangible skill, second is a knowledge skill, third is a behavioral skill, and the fourth is the interpersonal skills. Examining them in relation to the requirements and the responsibilities of the job. This stage represents 85% of the interview, with as much as 65% of it devoted to competency-based questions. So the total time for this stage is 85% of the total competency-based interviewing, but 65% of the time would be devoted to the competency-based questions. That leaves about 20% of the time, and that to be divided between four other types of questions. One questions can be closed-ended questions, and then open-ended questions, probing, and then hypothetical questions. So you have to devote further time to these. The last two should receive shared emphasis, say about 5% each, with open-ended questions receiving about 8% of your time and closed-ended question carrying the balance. So you have to divide these time in a very hypothetical way. Close-ended questions allow you to zero in on specific issues, usually for the purpose of verification or clarification. They are useful when you need tightly worded responses in order to proceed with the interview. While in contrast, open-ended questions generally focus on how applicant approaches task. That is a how question, what question, when questions. They serve as effective setups for subsequent competency-based questions, testing out the validity of preceding answers. Then are the probing questions. Probing questions asked during the core of the interview will allow you to ascertain additional information from answers to the competency-based open-ended and hypothetical questions. So these questions, probing question would be scattered to the whole interview, and they would be focused on different stages within the within the core stage of the competency-based questioning. Hypotheticals lend balance to competency-based question, while the competency-based questioning techniques focuses on specific examples from past job experience. Because whenever you need to ask competency-based question, focus on the past experience, that how the person was doing in the previous job and what kind of competencies they have earned during his previous job. And you can expect that how a person will perform in their future job. Hypotheticals are also valuable for applicants with limited or no work history. If you don't have any work history or having a very limited work history, then hypotheticals questions are very helpful. So remember, hypotheticals evaluate how the applicant think as opposed to what they knows. For example, there are some questions or some areas around which you may ask question. Recruits and interviews applicants for non-exempt positions, refers qualified applicant to appropriate department manager. Non-exempt positions which are not of the managerial level. Then number 2, performs reference checks on potential employees. And then number 3, helps director of human resource plan and conduct each month's organizational orientation program. These are very journal skills. And number 4 is assist in the implementation of policies and procedures may be required to explain or interpret certain policies in better detail. And number 5, it assists in the development and maintenance of up-to-date job descriptions for non-exempt position throughout the company, and then assist in the maintenance and administration of organizations' compensation program, monitors salary increase recommendation as they are received to ensure compliance with the merit increase guidelines. So such kind of areas need to be covered in the core stage of competency-based interviewing.